All right, let's try out the count functions. Let's type equal to represent the start of a formula and then write count. We can see that Excel defines this function as counts the number of cells in a range that contain numbers. That's a really important point. It's only going to count numerical values. Now I'm going to open my parentheses and go ahead and highlight the range that I want to count. Close the parentheses and hit enter. Why did Excel return 0? Well, it returns 0 because count only counts numerical values. And there's no numerical values in this column. They're just text values, so that's why it returns 0. If we use the fill handle to click and drag this over, we actually see that Excel counts 6, 5, and 5. Now, why does it make sense that it counted 6? It makes sense because this column header is a date, and remember, date values are considered numerical values in Excel. For the next, we see that it returns 5 because it's the same as the column to the left, except it contains one blank row here. And then finally, on the rightmost column, we see that it also returns 5. But this time, it returns 5 because our column header, total sales, is text, not a numerical value. Using the AutoSum feature, you can also AutoSum using the count function. Let's quickly delete these formulas that we just entered and instead highlight the columns. Then we go to Formulas, AutoSum, Count Numbers, or use the shortcut Alt-M-U-C. And now Excel automatically inserts our formulas. This is a great shortcut if you're looking to quickly add in count functions. The count function really is just that easy. Select a range, close the parentheses, and then hit enter. Now let's try the COUNTA function. When we write the formula equals count A, we see that Excel defines it as counts the number of cells in a range that are not empty. Whereas count counts numerical values, count A counts anything that's not blank. So now I'm going to open my parentheses, highlight my range, close the parentheses and hit enter, and we see that it returns 6 for this column, which makes sense. Because none of these rows are blank, all of them will be counted. Using the fill handle to click and drag it over, we see that Excel returns 6 for all of them except for this column here, and that's because there's one blank. The numbers would change if I went over here and eliminated some of the numbers from the column. We can see that it's now 4 instead of the 6 it was before, since now there are more blank values and COUNTA will no longer count them. Finally, let's go over the COUNTBLANK function. Typing out the function in Excel, I type equals COUNTBLANK, and then choose the range that I want to count. What do you think that this range would return? Take a second to think about it. Welcome back. I'm going to close my parentheses and then hit enter, and you can see that it counts 2 because there are 2 blank cells in the range. Now, if we use the fill handle to click and drag it over, the rest have 0 except for this column, which has 1, because there's one blank cell inside of that range.